Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2023 LaSalle Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Please join me in welcoming the Vice President of Advancement for LaSalle Academy, Mrs. Aisha Graciano.
Thank you. Good evening. Esteemed guests, alumni, faculty, and friends of LaSalle Academy. It is with great honor and immense pride that we gather here tonight for the prestigious LaSalle Academy Hall of Fame ceremony. This event is a celebration of excellence, a tribute to those individuals whose remarkable contributions have left their mark on our institution's history. As we embark on this evening's journey of recognition and celebration, we pay tribute to the outstanding individuals whose passion, dedication, and achievements have shaped the very fabric of our beloved LaSalle community. Before we proceed with tonight's inductions, it's important to understand the standards of excellence that guide the selection of our Hall of Fame inductees. The criteria for induction are rigorous and comprehensive, designed to honor those individuals who exemplify core values and principles upon which LaSalle Academy was founded. Criteria for nomination into the Hall of Fame is reviewed every 2 years by the nominating committee. An alum or person closely associated with LaSalle Academy may be nominated if they have demonstrated the following qualities. Inductees have a long association and an outstanding record of service and loyalty to LaSalle. They have graduated 25 years prior to the nomination. Inductees, through their accomplishments, have brought honor upon the name of LaSalle Academy and have demonstrated outstanding service to the Lasallian Catholic mission. Lastly, inductees demonstrate unique social service and citizenship in the community in which they live. Tonight's inductees were nominated by members of the community and subsequently reviewed and approved by the members of our Hall of Fame committee. We are pleased that all 9 individuals accepted our invitation to join the Hall of Fame. At this time, I have the pleasure of introducing LaSalle Academy President, Brother Dennis Malloy. Brother Dennis joined LaSalle in 2019 and very shortly after his arrival, found himself guiding the school through one of the most difficult moments in its history. We are incredibly grateful for his leadership then and now as we head towards 2 momentous occasions when we celebrate the 40th anniversary of Women at LaSalle next year and the 100th anniversary of our main building at 612 Academy Avenue in 2025. Please welcome Brother Dennis Malloy.
Thank you, Aisha. You make me sound so good. Thank you. So good evening, everyone. And thank you all for being here with us this evening to honor and to celebrate the achievements of 9 distinguished members of our LaSalle family. They are exemplary role models for all of us. And may their lives of faith, leadership, and service inspire our students to follow in their footsteps. It is for this reason that their names have been enshrined in our Heritage Hallway. I also want to thank the Hall of Fame Committee for their thoughtful discernment and selection of our honorees. As I call your names, please stand for a moment to be recognized. Ed Haru, class of 57. Please stand up if you can. Wonderful, wonderful. Judge Francis Darrigan, class of 60. Bernard Giacovoni, class of 62. Stephen Lepre, class of 67. Bob Quirk, class of '84. Ben McGinn, class of '97. And Lauren Lemoy, class of '05.
She did it.
So we take a minute and remember that we're in the presence of God, and a little prayer of blessing and a prayer of peace. Lord, bless our coming together around this meal as a sign of our oneness in you, and help us to be good co-workers with you in building up a world of peace, justice, and compassion, where the meal we are about to receive would not be lacking to any of your daughters and sons. And Lord, we beseech you to pour out your power upon all your children in the Middle East, Jews, Muslims, and Christians, Palestinians and Israelis. Let hatred be turned into love, fear to trust, despair to hope, and violence replaced by peace and the common good experienced by all. We make our prayer in Jesus' name, amen. At this time, I would like to introduce the Honorable Francis Derrigan, a member of the Hall of Fame class of 2004 and chair of the Hall of Committee, to the stage. Judge Derrigan? Okay. Judge Derrigan will lead us in a moment of silence to honor those Hall of Famers who have departed since our last induction ceremony 2 years ago.
Thank you, Brother Dennis, and good evening to all of our new inductees, current members of the Hall of Fame, and great friends, supporters, and family of the great LaSalle. It's a privilege and an honor to be here before you today to speak about some of the Hall of Fame members who have gone to their eternal rest since our last meeting 2 years ago. This is a new innovation in our proceedings this year that was suggested by one of our committee members, the great Ed Haru, a great dedicated longtime teacher here at LaSalle who serves on the Hall of Fame committee, to honor those who may have passed since our last meeting 2 years ago. LaSalle Academy has almost 170 members of the Hall of Fame going back many, many years. And the Hall of Fame was, and its current editions, was revived in the late 90s right here in this building through the impetus and goodwill and great energy of the great Walter McLaughlin, who chaired this committee for so many years and who died just a couple of years ago. So without any further comment by me, the members who have passed away since our last meeting 2 years ago, Charles E. Hogan from the class of 1946. Charles was a great volunteer here at LaSalle and a wonderful exponent of LaSalle Academy. Next is James G. Hagan from the class of 54. Jim was a great business leader in Rhode Island. He was the moderator for a lively experiment on public television for a number of years, and a great LaSallian as well. The next gentleman is Major Edward T. Ted Collins from the class of 1953. Ted Collins was a major in the Providence Police Department and spent his entire life in law enforcement, keeping the people of Providence and the state of Rhode Island safe from harm. And last but certainly not least is Thomas M. Mulvey, educational doctor from my class of 1960, who just passed away this past August. Tom was a wonderful guy, very active here at LaSalle in every phase, was on the Board of Regents for years, and his death has left a great sadness in the LaSalle family. So if you just give us a moment of silence, and not only to recognize these gentlemen who have passed away, But seeing so many friends, members of the LaSalle Hall of Fame, and loyal members of the LaSalle family, also take a minute to remember someone who you know, who has been inducted in the Hall of Fame here at the Great LaSalle, who has also passed before this time. So let's think of these poor gentlemen in particular, but please honor all of these other folks that you may know in your heart. And watch the screen because we have a very brief memorial for them. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy this wonderful evening as we look forward to meeting and greeting our outstanding inductees for the class of 2023. Thank you very much.
Tonight, we will induct our newest Hall of Fame members in groups of 3 throughout the evening. We will celebrate each inductee with a brief video testimonial, which will precede their joining us on stage to receive their award. As we honor our first set of inductees, Dr. Patrick Conley, Mr. Robert Dimuccio, and Mrs. Barbara Cottam Garrahy, let's take a moment to recognize their incredible accomplishments. Their dedication, hard work, and achievements have set a remarkable standard for excellence that inspires us all.
Patrick Conley grew up in South Providence and excelled academically among his peers in elementary and middle school. But as he entered LaSalle Academy, he found new ways to stand out.
And I got attention by acting up and acting out and disrupting the class. And the brothers were tolerant, and very fortunately, they not only tolerated me, but kept me because with the conduct that I exhibited, I might, if they didn't see some future for me, I might have been expelled.
A fortuitous meeting with Father Vincent Dorr of Providence College would set Patrick on a course that ultimately would change his life forever.
History. Yes, I love history. Father Dorr said, good, you're a history major. That's how I became a historian, astoundingly. It's just on a snap question. And so they let me in, and he says, I'm letting you in mainly because you have a connection with LaSalle.
And on the occasion of its 150th anniversary, Dr. Conley, Rhode Island State Historian Laureate, lent his talents to the production of an essay celebrating LaSalle Academy, the school where it all started.
It was the foundation of my academic career, because without LaSalle and without that LaSalle diploma, even though it was almost given to me gratuitously, I would never have gotten into Providence College and got a chance to prove myself as a scholar. And without Providence College, never to Notre Dame. And so my whole academic career rests on that foundation. Yes, it's a fitting conclusion to, you might say, a fitting conclusion to an inauspicious start.
For your commitment to justice, steadfast defense of the U.S. Constitution, and for your passion for history, you now join LaSalle's great legacy. We welcome Dr. Patrick Conley to the LaSalle Hall of Fame.
Brother Malloy,
Chairman Darrigan, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and LaSallians, especially my fellow inductees. The organizers of this event gave me 3 instructions. They said, be present, be brief, and be seated. And they warned me that this is not an opportunity to pontificate, but rather one to give thanks. Now, as you saw from the video, I had trouble obeying as a student, but in old age, I've become more docile. When I received my induction letter from Brother Dennis Malloy, I said to my wife, Gail, honey, did you ever think in your wildest dreams that I would receive such a high honor? And she replied, Patrick, at age 85, you are no longer in my wildest dreams. The truth hurts. Tonight, I've been placed first in order of induction because LaSalle, as a fine Catholic school, chose to follow the biblical tradition of the marriage feast at Cana and save the best wine until last. However, on a serious note, I express my gratitude to 2 earliest scholastic mentors and funders, my Aunt Mary and my Uncle Thomas Conley, and also my grandparents, Irish immigrant Annie Corrigan Conley and her husband Patrick of South Providence. They took me in as an infant and raised me. I also thank my current friends at LaSalle, such as Al Orban, school archivist, Ben McGinn, sports athletic director, and the recently retired vice president for institutional development, and my former student, Tom Glavin. My ongoing connections with LaSalle were due to them and to my daughter Sharon Hanlon, who was school photographer, and now the school photographer is my son-in-law, Bob Prue, and also my son, Thomas, LaSalle's highly successful throws coach and a bulwark for a while on the track and field team. Obviously, my thanks goes especially to those Christian brothers who labored at LaSalle during the 1950s, not only for what they did to advance my education, but also what they did not do, namely expel me. As the second youngest in my class and a 16-year-old graduate, I was exceedingly immature and a seeker of attention. As a result, I was often ejected from class, received the threshold passing grade of 70 in several courses, and was not an honors graduate. A few brothers told me that if it was not for my perceived potential, I would be heading to a public high school. In view of my subsequent academic career, I was saved by their patience and their optimism. Upon my graduation in 1955, magna cum difficultate, I had failed to apply to any college or take college entrance exams despite the advice of my teachers. When I finally smartened up in late August 1955, I applied to Providence College as a walk-on with the help of my Uncle Tom. Father Vincent Dorr, who later became PC president and a close friend, admitted me on probation, primarily because of the academic weight of my LaSalle diploma. It was Father Dorr who designated me as a history major, a determination made at the day of my admission. My LaSalle diploma ensured my acceptance to Providence College. PC led to Notre Dame, and the rest is history. And therefore, to the French educator, Saint Jean-Baptiste de La Salle, and his heirs, the Christian brothers, I offer my heartfelt merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Wow.
for Bob Dimuccio and his family, Catholic education was at the cornerstone of his formation as a young man, but it didn't come without sacrifice.
And back then, you know, the tuition was a struggle. I had a paper route originally to help pay for the tuition.
And Bob's meteoric rise to success came about by happenstance during a conversation with a LaSalle teacher.
He suggested, why don't you look into accounting? It was his advice that got me on the track that eventually led to my career.
That one moment led to a series of events that would propel Bob Dimuccio to levels of professional and personal success beyond his wildest dreams.
LaSalle changed the trajectory of my life. Being recognized by an institution that truthfully did so much for my life feels like an incredible honor and a humbling experience. I'm still that 13-year-old thinking about, you know, I got to get out of here to go to my paper route. 2:30, you know, I got to get home, get a paper route. So that person sort of never left me. He's still in there someplace.
When asked what he most wants to express for receiving this honor, Bob had this to say.
I guess, thank you. You know, the fact that I'm sitting at my seat here started, God, 50 something years ago, 52 years ago, you know, in that building across the campus there. And, you know, I wouldn't be here without all of their efforts and all of their time and dedication. So, you know, I would probably want to make certain that I ended with thank you to everybody who helped me along the way.
For the model of fairness, kindness, and compassion, and for the humility that you show, we welcome Bob Dimuccio to the LaSalle Hall of Fame.
I don't have any prepared remarks, so I'll be short, and I want to start where I ended the video. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to LaSalle, it changed my life. Thank you to everybody who helped me along the way. I'm just very humbled to be up here. And thank you to my family, my grandchildren are here, my wife, whole extended family is here, and there are 3 tables there in the center. So I am so proud of them, and you know, they are the reason that I'm here. They supported me, and I want to say something special about my wife. From the day I met her, she always believed in me. She always did, and I'm here because we're together. And she believed in me through all the highs and lows of my life and my career. Thank you, Rena. Love you very much. That's all.
Barbara Cottam Garrahy became deeply enrooted in our community when she first brought her daughters to see LaSalle Academy.
I was familiar with LaSalle, but the new LaSalle that I saw was with women, and an opportunity for my children was one that had evolved. It maintained the traditions and culture and the core values, but it evolved educationally, opportunities for the students, and we came to visit, and my daughters, both of them, loved the size, the spirit, the camaraderie.
Throughout numerous public service positions, Barbara has always upheld the value of education as a means of changing society for the better.
LaSalle puts that hand out reaches down and pulls students up and over. And in my work with the public school system, that's what we try to achieve for every single student. No matter what their zip code is, no matter what their economic situation, family situation is, it gives them a chance to change systemically their lives and the lives of their families.
Barbara lent her talents in business, education, and public service to the LaSalle Board of Trustees for 9 years. When asked how that impacted her life, she said the following.
I am forever grateful because I have grown personally, and I hope that I've been able to contribute to future LaSallians, trying to help change, evolve the school with the times. We all have something to give one another, and we all have something to learn from each other.
For your years of public service, devotion to excellent education for all, and your commitment to the mission of LaSalle Academy, we welcome Barbara Cottam Garrahy to the LaSalle Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this honor. Thank you to Judge Darrigan and the Hall of Fame Committee, to Brother Dennis and Brother Tom and Mike Rogers. As chairman of the board, he's the one that brought me to the board of LaSalle Academy. To our girls, Catherine and Elizabeth, who have come in from Milwaukee and New York City to be here tonight, proud LaSallian graduates, you are the center, our loves of our world. To my husband, John, my supporter in all that I undertake, although DC was a bit of a curveball, thank you. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. Martin Luther King Jr. That defines LaSalle Academy. Through my father and father-in-law and brother, I knew of their love for the school and some of their experiences. When I went to high school, there was no opportunity for me to attend LaSalle Academy. But now I have witnessed LaSalle firsthand through my daughter's years there and as a board member. Truth be told, my oldest wanted to play high school soccer, Division I particularly, and I wasn't sure at all that she would make the dominant varsity multi-year state championship team. So I said to John, maybe she should go someplace else so she can play and have a sports experience in high school that she wanted. So I said to her, if you don't make the team, what are you going to do? Because you're not coming home at 2:30 in the afternoon. I received a PowerPoint filled with a list of band, multiple clubs, and written in no cut track as the answer. So did she make the team? Yes, both my girls did, and they made the lacrosse team also. But from LaSalle, they received so much more. LaSalle provides a transformative education. It is a place of academic excellence that continues to evolve while maintaining its values and honoring St. John Baptist de LaSalle's ideals of faith, service, and community. LaSalle gave to my girls and others the value of being seen and being heard. It gave them enduring relationships, lifelong friends, and connections with teachers and administrators. LaSalle develops a student's curiosity and seeds lifelong learning. Students learn how true grit and teamwork can overcome disappointment and losses on the field and in life. And LaSalle encourages young people to be bold and live creatively, both through the arts and music and in their life's choices. Importantly also, LaSalle students have been shown the value of faith and human relationships, and that being generous with their time to help others reaps as much for them as it does for those being helped. And that mission trip experience that some of the students participate in during vacation truly changes who they are. Nelson Mandela rightly said, "Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world." One of the reasons I made a commitment to LaSalle is because LaSalle has made a commitment to young people in Providence. And importantly, not just to those students who look like my daughters, and not just to those students who have the means to attend. In my role as chair of the Board of Education, I saw firsthand how critical education is to those less fortunate in our community, and how education is the #1 indicator of someone living a successful and productive life. So everybody grab your glass. Let's raise a glass to LaSalle graduates, especially the women who are boldly changing the world. Thank you.
Congratulations, Patrick, Robert, and Barbara. Let's give another big round of applause for these outstanding individuals who have truly left an indelible mark on the legacy of LaSalle Academy. At this time, we will take a brief pause to clear the tables for dinner before our next set of inductions. I hope you're all enjoying and will continue to enjoy your dinner as we move on with our program. To honor the legacy and achievements of excellence, we'd like to acknowledge the esteemed members of the LaSalle Academy Hall of Fame. If you are a current Hall of Famer or an inductee into this prestigious group, in just one moment, I will ask you to stand. But before you do, I would like us to take a special moment to recognize Mr. John Romano, class of 41, who is here with us today. Mr. Romano celebrated his 100th birthday in August, and we couldn't be prouder.
Wow.
Mr. Romano, thank you for being here tonight and on many, many occasions for LaSalle. We are grateful to have you. And now that we've acknowledged Mr. Romano, I would like to ask that all current Hall of Famers please stand and be recognized. Thank you for your outstanding contributions. Our second set of inductees are Brother Frederick Mueller, Mr. Tyler Smith, and Mr. David Miele. As we hear their stories, let's reflect on the fact that these inductees haven't just excelled in their respective fields. They've shaped the very fabric of our school's history. Their contributions continue to resonate, leaving a lasting impact on LaSalle Academy and beyond.
There are few people whose lives are more deeply enrooted to that of LaSalle Academy than Brother Frederick Mueller, which makes him uniquely deserving to be honored this evening.
Yes, this award has more power, in a sense, because it has followed me from being an adolescent, to a young man, to an older man.
For over 50 years, Brother has served LaSalle Academy here in Providence, but his impact has been felt throughout the LaSallian world.
God loves me as I am. He created me as I am. And he calls me to use the gifts that he's given me to be at the service of others. It really is the young people whose lives that I touched, but whose lives touched me. It doesn't go in one direction. Love has to go in two directions. Touching hearts is of that same quality.
His deep love and comprehension of our mission has led him to many publications, lecture series, and the creation of a LaSallian formation program that is the gold standard.
To be LaSallian is to be a brother or sister who draws people closer to who they are, and therefore closer to who God sees them as unto God.
And so he has spent his life in devotion to the service of the brothers, commitment to God's gospel, and to forming community as his vows instruct him to do.
Because to recognize the presence of God is to recognize the presence of God within us, right? Which is dramatic enough in itself, but to recognize the presence of God in you and in you. And because I recognize the presence of God in you, that creates a community where justice and peace can somehow flourish.
For decades of unyielding service to the LaSallian mission, we welcome you, our good and faithful servant, Brother Frederick C. Mueller, FSC, to the LaSalle Hall of Fame.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to congratulate my fellow LaSalle Academy Hall of Fame inductees. I'm honored to join you and all the members of the Hall of Fame. Secondly, I wish to thank my mom and dad, long deceased, for having given me the opportunity to attend LaSalle Academy. And 10 days after graduation, for having allowed and encouraged me to enter Christian Brothers Novitiate in Narragansett, the first step in becoming a brother. Since that time, my sister Marie and her family, present here this evening, have supported me along my vocational journey. My nephew and my two nieces attended LaSalle. My nephew, having graduated before I arrived as principal, he's probably grateful for that, and my two nieces in school with me. In addition, I owe my gratitude to the brothers who nurtured my vocation when I was a student, who educated me over the years, entrusted to me leadership positions, challenged me to stretch myself, as when asking me to become the first principal of LaSalle in the new president principal model, provided space for me to grow in ministries outside the province, as in the Diocese of Providence, Salve Regina University, and our generalate in Rome, and continue to support me with their presence here this evening, with their affirmation, and with their putting up with my shortcomings. I also want to thank my LaSallian colleagues, especially those from LaSalle Academy. When I became principal, I was 39 years old and had never been a high school administrator. In fact, I had only taught 2 years in high school. The faculty and staff put their trust in me, and together we put into place a new school administrative structure, began the Pegasus program, and created innovative programs that garnered a Blue Ribbon School of Excellence Award. Similarly, when I returned to LaSalle, I was met by teachers willing to be part of an innovative LaSallian formation program. And I had the privilege of mentoring teachers new to the school, women and men who entrusted their professional growth to me. Without my LaSallian colleagues, a number of whom are here this evening, I could never have been a successful leader. According to John W. Gardner, good leadership requires good followership, a community of support. Yes, communities need leaders, and leaders need communities. Finally, I want to thank my students, the countless young women and men who have given my life meaning. I'm called brother. Over these more than 50 years, it's been my students who have reminded me daily what it really means to be a brother. Sometimes a brother walks ahead of his younger siblings to show the way. Sometimes a brother walks behind in order to give a kick in the pants. And sometimes a brother walks alongside and holds the hand of the other caringly. And I've done all of these things over the many years. We brothers are urged by our founder to touch the hearts of those entrusted to our care. To really touch the heart of another means to allow that person to touch our heart as well. I'm the person that I am today because my heart has been touched by countless numbers of young people. Thank you, my students, over these many years. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your kind attention this evening.
For Tyler Smith, being an artist is more than just about emotion and creativity.
Well, I think self-discipline. I think that's probably the thing that stayed with me. It was not giving up, wanting to succeed, really focusing in on things. That in a spiritual, look at the world spiritually. I think that was another thing that I took from LaSalle.
Over the years, Patrick served as a mentor to young men at San Miguel School in Providence and found other ways to use his talents to benefit those in need.
I always felt that, certain things should be done. During my career, I know I did some work, some charity work, I did design a brochure or something like that for a needy cause. And I think LaSalle had a part of that. You wanted to help good causes.
And most recently, Tyler expressed his love for LaSalle Academy through the creation of the 150th anniversary logo, as well as the 150th anniversary commemorative book that celebrated LaSalle Academy.
Very aware of God these days. I do. I think we're all given gifts. I'm blessed with a gift, and I respect people who have other talents, and I'm sure they think that their gifts are also from a supreme being.
As an artist, Patrick continues to bring beauty into the world and bring pride to the name LaSalle Academy.
It's not a cliche to say you're honored, and I am honored, and it came as a bit of a surprise. LaSalle was part of my life. It's a formation of your character. To see that come to fruition and an honor is great. It's very humbling.
For sharing your God-given talents to enhance the beauty of our world, we welcome W. Tyler Smith to the LaSalle Hall of Fame.
Well, it's nice to be here. Who was that man on the screen? That was very nice. Whoever did those films were terrific, really. So I grew up in Providence, probably a mile from LaSalle. So at an early age, I always thought of LaSalle in sixth grade, maybe sixth, seventh grade. We always thought of LaSalle as this goal, this magic place that is your ticket to success. So maybe 7 or 8 of us in our 8th grade in class in St. Augustine were accepted to LaSalle, and it was a great moment. I got some financial aid because my mother was a single mom, so fortunately the St. Augustine Parish helped me get through LaSalle. But it was a great, it's a great education. Some of the brothers and teachers that I had are memorable. I'll say a few of the names for people over 70. Let's see, there was Father Hogan. I always remembered him. He was a Latin teacher, very good teacher. Brother David in chemistry, Carl Tody, and Bertie Pina. Remember him? They were biology. And then there was Brother Patrick. Brother Patrick ran a very tight ship. No shenanigans in his class. And I can attest to that. I learned the hard way. But it was a great teaching experience. Brother Joseph, first of all, back in those days, there was no art department. The closest thing was mechanical drawing. Of course, now there's a great art department at LaSalle, second to none, thanks to Bill Connors, who really set that department up. But anyway, Brother Joseph was the mechanical drawing teacher. And at the end of the semester, we would do these things called plates. And they were very precise drawings of different objects. So at the end of the semester, Brother Joseph said, you'll have to put these plates together and create a cover for these plates. And if you do something good and creative, he says, we'll increase your mark, so you'll get a higher mark. So this was like, I love this. This was a great thing. So I did some research, and I found the Book of Kells, which is an Irish work of art, really, from the 9th century. And I was inspired by this. I mean, these beautiful uncials, medieval uncials. So I used this as inspiration. Of course, I didn't do the masterpieces of some of the artwork was incredibly complicated, but the text was pretty interesting. So I did that for my cover, and it's a little bit not so appropriate for mechanical drawings to have these uncials, these medieval uncials on the cover. But anyway, Brother Joseph loved it. He thought that was the greatest thing in the world. So he called me in and he said, you know, you really should look into art and design. And so I have to thank him for that. In my senior year, all my friends, you know, they went to PC and Boston College, Holy Cross, Notre Dame, some Ivy League schools. And, you know, they wanted to be doctors, lawyers, or engineers, someone in the priesthood. And I was the oddball. I wanted to go to RISD, Brown School of Design. So off I went, and I had a great experience there. I learned to see aesthetically things. You know, aesthetics were very important. But my bedrock education was LaSalle. You know, not only was it a rigorous Catholic education, but it taught me self-discipline, perseverance, and also a moral compass, you know, to get us through life. So LaSalle, thank you for this great honor, and a special thanks to the Christian Brothers.
David Miele's professional success started from humble beginnings at LaSalle Academy.
You know, it was a sacrifice of my parents to send me there, even though the tuition back then was only, I think it was $700 my senior year, but it was a sacrifice.
David credits much of his formation to the experience he had at LaSalle Academy, but especially to the time spent on the ice playing for the LaSalle Rams ice hockey team.
My coach, Lou Samini, who I played hockey for, he had a lot of great sayings. I've learned a lot from Lou about, not only about hockey, but about life. And one of the things he said is that the friends that you make at LaSalle are friends that you'll have forever. And he was absolutely true.
In addition to sending his own 2 children to LaSalle Academy, Dave lent his talents as president of the Alumni Association, a class agent, and next year will take over as president of the Board of Trustees. The stewardship of our mission is in good hands.
Really focus on the mission of LaSalle, which we should never lose sight of, which is to provide a quality education, a top-notch education to its students, to a diverse student body of all classes, with particular focus on the poor in lower socioeconomic classes who may not be able to afford the tuition. We can never lose sight of that. And to embed in that education the ability for faith formation as well.
When asked if this Hall of Fame induction is a culmination of his LaSalle experience, Dave had this to say.
No, because I think joining the Hall of Fame doesn't necessarily punctuate kind of a LaSalle career, because punctuate to me suggests an end. And I'm nowhere near the end of my affiliation with LaSalle. I'm looking forward to many more years of active involvement.
As an alum, a parent of alum, and for the many ways that you continue to give back to LaSalle Academy, we welcome David Miele to the LaSalle Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'll put it right up here. Did you see that picture? Wow. I mean, does that hairdo just scream late 70s, right? Okay. Brother Dennis, Judge Darrigan, Hall of Fame committee members, fellow LaSalle alumni. This will make it go quicker. Particularly those from the great class of 1978. And also my Hall of Fame, my fellow Hall of Fame inductees. I'm honored to be included with a group that has achieved such extraordinary things and has given so much of their time and talent to LaSalle. At the outset, I want to thank my family, friends, classmates, teammates, and coworkers who are here tonight to help me celebrate this induction. In particular, I want to thank my classmate and good friend, David Del Gallo, who drove my nomination. I'm almost as excited tonight as I was when that photo was taken some 46 years ago. Yeah. That was the third and deciding game of the state championship series against Mount St. Charles. And I had just slipped the puck past the Mount goalie after receiving a perfect centering pass from Jim Murphy. As always, my hockey teammates made me look good. Adelot Arena was well over capacity that night, and we silenced the Mount crowd and went on to win the state championship. By the way, Mount wouldn't lose another state championship for 26 years. Tonight, I want to share with you 3 major influences in my life. First, my parents, Am and Yola Miele. Last month, after the Hall of Fame luncheon, we went to Heritage Hall to view our names that had been included with all of the past Hall of Fame inductees. As I stood there and had my picture taken, I could actually sense my parents' presence and the pride they would be feeling if they could be here tonight. Though neither attended college, they instilled in me the importance of family, education, sacrifice, and hard work. My dad never shied away from the opportunity to make a long-winded speech. And unfortunately for you tonight, I inherited that trait. The second major influence in my life were my teachers, coaches, teammates, and classmates that were the center of my existence for those 4 formative years at 612 Academy Avenue. I had the great fortune of playing for the legendary Lou Samini, who was famous for his Louisms. In the video, you heard the one about friends. Another of his favorites was, quote, "You're only as good as your last performance," unquote, reminding us to never, ever rest on our laurels. This lesson, like many of Lou's lessons, applied well beyond the confines of the hockey rink. I learned from my teammates about drive, working together toward a goal, and picking each other up when one of us was down. A number of my hockey teammates are here tonight, and I would like them to stand and be acknowledged. Come on. And of course, there were the teachers and counselors, whether it was Bob Lisi trying mightily to teach us French, or Gary Diamandis putting in long hours for our West Side Story production. They were models of perseverance and dedication and embodied the LaSallian ideal. I fondly remember my guidance counselor, Ed Haru, telling me that Holy Cross was interested in me, but there must be some mistake because Holy Cross is a basketball school. I was blessed to have wonderful classmates with whom we created great memories, like the Spirit Club that we dubbed the LaSalle Pyramid Team. Over those 4 years, we formed bonds of friendship which endure to this day. LaSalle also gave me the opportunity to grow in my faith. The third major influence in my life is my beautiful wife of 37 years, Diane. Diane and I met when I was in college, and she put up with my, let's say, less than rosy disposition through 3 years of law school. She has been my rock through thick and thin. We have cried together, laughed together, and shared new experiences together. She is a terrific wife, mom, daughter, sister, cousin, and friend, all while maintaining a demanding professional career. Together, we raised 2 wonderful children. Dan, class of 2012, a theatrical sound designer in New York City, who's here, and Jess, class of 2014, an OBGYN resident at Women and Infants, who's doing more important things tonight at the hospital. She's on a 24-hour shift. But she texted me earlier, and she's here in spirit. Diane will often needle me when I have multiple meetings at LaSalle in a single week, accusing me of not being able to say no to LaSalle. But how do you say no to an institution that has had such a profound influence on your life? All kidding aside, I want to thank Diane for being so understanding of my commitment to LaSalle. Speaking of commitment to LaSalle, I want to leave you all with the following thought this evening. As a hockey player and fan, I was enamored with the high-flying Montreal Canadiens of the late 70s. Later in life, I had the opportunity to visit the Canadiens dressing room in the old Montreal Forum. And above the lockers, there is a saying in both French and English, I will read it in English, as French is one of the few things I learned at LaSalle that did not stick with me. The saying reads as follows, quote, "To you from failing hands, we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high," unquote. This is more than just a clever slogan. It speaks to the tradition of excellence of the Canadians that is equally applicable to LaSalle. As the alumni base at LaSalle grows older, it is incumbent upon us to pass the torch to younger alumni, to reconnect them with the school, to bring them into positions of leadership, and ensure that this great institution continues its tradition of excellence for another 150 years. Thank you for your attention, and again, thank you for this tremendous honor.
Congratulations, Brother Fred, Tyler, and David. A big round of applause once again for our newest Hall of Famers. We are grateful for your exceptional contributions to LaSalle Academy, and your legacy will continue to inspire generations to come. At this time, we will take a short break before we move on to our last set of inductions over dessert. What an incredible evening we've had. To our final set of inductees, the late Colonel Gerald Dillon, Wanda McLaughlin, and Don Kavanagh. We honor and pay tribute to their outstanding achievements and contributions. Their names will forever be etched in the illustrious history of LaSalle Academy. As every person in this room can attest, Wanda McLaughlin has been one of LaSalle's biggest champions for decades. Alongside her beloved husband, the late Walter McLaughlin, a legendary member of our community, she has supported the school in every sense of the word. Unfortunately, Wanda is unable to be physically present with us tonight, but never one to miss a LaSalle event if she can help it. Wanda has participated virtually throughout the entire evening via Zoom. We will begin our final segment of the program with Wanda's video, and then we will welcome her to virtually share her words of gratitude.
Thank you, Brian.
Wanda McLaughlin's connection to LaSalle does not come from her being an alum nor a parent of a former student.
I met a fabulous man, Walter, and then we had a fabulous life together.
That fabulous life together led to a deep and undying love for LaSalle Academy.
That love that Walter had was truly infectious. The love for LaSalle is very strong, very strong.
And in time, she found herself ingrained in the LaSalle community.
Because you're part of something bigger than you. When you walk the corridors and you can see the camaraderie amongst the students, it opens these doors. And when to see that these kids have the possibility to be anything they want because of LaSalle. It's amazing, isn't it?
When asked how it feels to be inducted into the LaSalle Hall of Fame, Wanda took this humble approach to the answer.
My gut feeling was to deny it. I'm not worthy. But then I said, Walter would be so happy. I could see the gleam in his face that he was thankful that I'm going into, because we were always like this.
Wanda was awarded the Distinguished LaSallian Medal and most recently cemented her legacy with the naming of the Wanda and Walter McLaughlin softball field. And when asked what's next for this amazing LaSallian, Wanda had this to say.
I'm going to enjoy my life the best I can and make Walter proud.
For your decades of generosity and a heart filled with love for LaSalle Academy, we welcome Wanda McLaughlin to the LaSalle Hall of Fame.
Wow, wow, wow. Oh, I had to get COVID today. Oh. But I gotta thank Asia and Brian for making this possible. Oh. I think I'll quote from Sir Winston Churchill. He said a good speech should be the length of a woman's skirt. Well, long enough to cover the subject, but short enough to keep it interesting. I gotta thank the committee for this outstanding, well, they just blew me away with this nomination. I thank you so much. And I want to thank I want to also congratulate the new inductees to the Hall of Fame. Outstanding. And I want to thank all those who came to share this beautiful event for me. Thank you. Like the video said, Walter's love for LaSalle was legendary. And I fell in love with LaSalle too. I love going to all these sporting events and any function they have, and also to the plays. They're outstanding. If you haven't been to a play, you're depriving yourself. I'm going to do everything in my power to continue this legacy. But Walter would never end there. He would always say, don't forget, LaSalle needs 3 things. 1, money. Money for our administrators and our faculty, for our diverse student population to have the best education they can get. They can go into any college they so choose. Money. Money for our buildings and our facilities, best in the state, and a little beyond too. And 3, money. Money for the next generation of the great LaSalle Academy. Thank you from the bottom of my heart of this beautiful award. Thank you, thank you.
But we want to make sure that Wanda feels the energy and celebration in the room. So you can all see that big camera back there. So if everyone can turn around and join me in applauding Wanda.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you. Wow. Wow. Oh, Brian, that was beautiful. Oh.
I'm Jerry Dillon. I'm a local kid. I grew up just 5 blocks from here. As I tell my granddaughters, it was uphill both directions. A little over 30 years of active service. Retired in '98. I'm an infantry officer, Ranger qualified, a master parachutist, pathfinder, jump master. I commanded 3 infantry companies, 2 battalions, 2 brigades. I was division chief of staff and a multinational chief of staff.
You know, in my family, Dad didn't have to say anything. Kind of accepted that you don't get something for nothing. A couple of years in uniform, but it didn't have to be the military. Peace Corps, anything, was a very small price to pay for the many freedoms that we enjoy. You know, some people spend all their lives wondering if they've ever made a difference. But for a military veteran, he does not have this problem. Well, that's particularly true with this band of brothers.
Is our time in LaSalle, we built friendships that last. And we have a very strong class, a very tight class. Sometimes some of the write-ups said, well, he was unarmed. Well, that's not true. I was armed because of my experience here at LaSalle, the discipline, it continued at Providence College, and then in the service training as well. Again, the discipline for all of that started right here at LaSalle.
Yeah. It's a labor of love. Anytime someone says, thanks for doing it, I said, you kidding me, you know? You know, it's just such a great brotherhood. And you feel it. Anytime you talk to somebody, you email them, whatever, it's just, and this turnout is amazing, the best we've ever had. So it's all good. So thank you, brother. Thanks, guys. And, you know, ooh, wow. Where's my beer?
I really do envy you and wish that I could change places with any one of you and start this great adventure all over again. I'm afraid that's just not possible. So I say to you with all the sincerity I can muster, bring your youth, bring your vitality and enthusiasm, bring your idealism, bring your curiosity, bring your fresh ideas, and as our Army slogan says, be all you can be.
So just have a good time. You've got to own it. And this is not part-time. You got to own it. Commit to it. Be decisive. Enjoy it. I mean, that to me is the greatest gauge of how it's going is I having fun. And you kind of, at the end of the day, you laugh about it and say, okay, tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's another chance to shine. I'll make some different decisions tomorrow, but I still will be decisive. It's an amazing way to go. End story, full stop. That's all good.
God bless you and keep you safe. God bless all our soldiers throughout the world. God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
For his love of God and country, for his service to the U.S. military, and for his contributions to the legacy of LaSalle Academy, we welcome Colonel Gerald F. Dillon to the LaSalle Hall of Fame. We ask that Kelly Fitzpatrick, Jerry's daughter, and class president of class of 64, Bill Hurley, to come forward to accept his award.
For Pops. He loved it here. I let him do the speaking, so thank you very much.
Honestly, he asked me to be the escort. I'm so honored to be the escort. That video was beautiful, but it doesn't tell you half of who Jerry was. I'm sitting at a table of people who loved him. And we're just representative of thousands of people around the world who loved him. We miss him so much and wish he was here. I really just wanted to thank a few people for an enormous act of kindness, and it was referenced there. Brother Dennis, Tom Glavin, and our buddy Danielle Paolino, and certainly the committee as well. The act of kindness was not inducting him into the Hall of Fame because he earned every bit of that. The act of kindness was expediting the process once they became aware that his medical condition was deteriorating. And as was referenced in there, our class of '64 has an annual Christmas luncheon. And Brother Dennis appeared at that luncheon and surprised Jerry with the announcement that he would be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So thank you for expediting the process. Thank you for making it impossible for Jerry to enjoy his induction, even though we all knew he wasn't going to be here tonight. He was the greatest guy who ever lived. We all loved him, and on his behalf, thank you so much for this great honor. I know he'd be pleased.
Don Kavanagh has been many things to LaSalle Academy: student, faculty member, coach, principal, and was even named an affiliate brother of the Christian schools.
Has it been worth it? I would say 100 times over, yes, it has been worth it.
And when asked how he was able to perform each of these roles with such incredible success, Don had this to say.
I'm still working on the best version of myself, so I'm not sure that I've accomplished what God was hoping or is hoping or is pushing me to be. I'm hoping that my best self is still developing to be better. I don't think God is done with me. Not yet, anyway. He hasn't called.
For over 20 years as principal teacher, Don ensured that students, faculty, families, and alumni all knew the role that they played in the great LaSalle adventure.
There are some people who can talk the mission, they can voice it. There are other people that can hum the mission or sing the mission, and there are other people who can dance the mission. And you need that combination of people in order to have a successful high school, middle school mission and have it accomplished.
And when asked, how could it be that one of LaSalle's most beloved native sons could experience so many milestones, both personal and professional, at 612 Academy Ave, Don Kavanagh had this to say.
You know, the old saying, you can never go home. That's not true. I was able to come home because Brother Michael made the phone call and God said, this is where you belong.
For life dancing the LaSalle mission, we welcome Donald J. Kavanagh, AFSC, to the LaSalle Hall of Fame.
My hands are shaking, so I'm having a little trouble here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I feel really blessed and fortunate to have worked with some amazing people at LaSalle Academy. Presidents, Brother Michael McHenry, Brother Tom Giroux, and Brother Dennis Malloy, all were excellent school leaders. They each had their own focus and skill set, which complemented what I was working on while overseeing the daily running of the school. There was always a strong sense of overarching spirituality through the charism of De La Salle, focusing on the school's mission, touching the hearts and minds of our students, their families, and our faculty in such a way that we were the friendly face of the church, presenting the good news of the gospel to all who were open to listening. The LaSallian charism and mission is just so practical. The dual spirituality, recognizing the need for young adults to be guided to develop the skills needed to flourish in a career where they could be successful in whatever they chose to do, and at the same time, be open to a relationship with Jesus, salvation on the earth in the form of a job, career, family, and salvation in the hereafter. There was also a strong message to always strive to be better and stronger every day. The presidents worked on communication, development, and enrollment so that school improvements could be made in all areas in a competitive atmosphere where LaSalle would stand out among the many possible school choices open to Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut families. They knew well that if there was no money, there would be no mission, as Wanda pointed out. They may have taught me so much and touched my life in so many ways. I appreciate each of them for their many gifts and talents. I also want to thank the brothers for allowing me to become an affiliated brother, a highlight of my work at LaSalle. I'd also like to thank the many administrators, vice principals, deans, faculty and staff, administrative assistants, students and parents with whom I engaged over my career. I especially want to thank Ted Quigley, who dedicated over 20 years as the athletic administrator at LaSalle. During that time, LaSalle went from being a sleeping giant in athletics to being a dominant force, thanks to Ted's leadership. In that same vein, I'd like to thank Tom Haynes, who led the Fine Arts program and brought our students to Edinburgh, Scotland on more than one occasion. Students went on to act and even do technical theater and lighting and sound on Broadway and across the nation, as some of the parents here tonight are well aware. Mrs. Leslie Martinelli, chair of the science department, led us into the then new Shea Science Building and created a creative burst into engineering and other endeavors. In one academic year, we had 2 of our graduating seniors accepted into the prestigious 7-year Brown University medical program, an incredible accomplishment. I'd also like to thank my family. Especially my wife of 47 years, Christine, who passed away in January, a year and a half ago. My sons, oh, by the way, she would have loved to have been here tonight, but she would have preferred to give the speech, just so you're aware. My sons, Matthew and Patrick, and their wives, Alexandra and Lindsay, along with my granddaughter, Eloise, who just recently turned 7 and is a first grader at Bayview Academy. Thanks to my brothers and sisters, friends and family for their support, especially being here tonight. Thank you and congratulations to each of the recipients this evening. I can guarantee that LaSalle Academy is a very different place today with better facilities, teachers, coaches, and even better food, but we are all still grounded in Catholic and Lasallian traditions of classical education, where Jesus and prayer is the central focus. The school continues to teach the core values of faith, service, and community. With that in mind, I'd like to finish with a quote actually written by Brother Frederick Mueller, who was honored here tonight. He wrote this over 30 years ago to send forth the Lasallian senior class at the conclusion of commencement exercises. This continues to be stated at each graduation and is certainly befitting of all the honorees this evening. To the graduating class, know you have our prayers and continued best. I did better at graduation. This is not too much better, but you have our prayers and continued best wishes as you prepare to leave this venue, led by our alumni marshals from the graduating class of 50 years ago. May you follow their example in the service they provide to the community, and may you always be role models for future LaSalle Academy graduates. Preserve the tradition which is LaSalle's and which now is yours. Thank you to everyone involved in planning this evening, and live Jesus in our hearts forever. Amen.
Let us once again congratulate Wanda, the late Jerry, and Don, and all of our inductees this evening. As we've stated, your dedication and success have set an inspiring example for us all. We will carry your legacy forward with pride and determination. At this time, I would like to invite the Honorable Frank Darrigan back to the podium to conclude this evening's program.
Thank you very much, Aisha. This has been a wonderful evening. We are all very proud members of the Lasallian family. Whether we're inducted into the Hall of Fame, former students, family, or just friends of this great institution. We've inducted tonight 9 outstanding individuals whose words to us tonight are worthy of our interest, our attention, and our implementation. This has been a wonderful evening. It's so great to see so many people here who come year after year to honor the great LaSalle and the great people it has produced. As we end this evening tonight, please have a safe home. And thank you for coming to this great event. And as we end all of our great LaSallian events, St. John Baptist de LaSalle, live Jesus in our hearts.
Forever.
Thank you and safe home. God bless.